Okay, I'm back. This whole diary from when I was in grade 8 is amazing. Like seriously, it should be in a museum somewhere. This whole thing is awesome. But I just want to read you one entry that says, "Hello. I forgot to tell you the other day that a little while ago Mr. Blair actually touched me. I was standing there and he tapped me on the shoulder, and when I turned around I saw him standing there and I took a spaz. Then he said, 'You had better get to class, the bell's going to ring soon.' As I walked to class, it suddenly hit. He had touched me. He had touched me. He had touched me! My brain reeled, my stomach flipped, and my heart pounded so hard I couldn't hear the roar coming from the wild mob of kids around me. I don't remember anything else about that afternoon, except that I loved him a little more than usual that day. Day by day, I love him more and more. I found out he has contacts, but I love him just as much as I always do. Even if he had glasses, braces, or whatever, I'd still love him. Cherie. P.S. My heart is bursting! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And then I have drawn a picture of a heart with a big happy face crying 4 tears, and an arrow pointing to one tear that says, tear of love. Another arrow pointing to another tear that says, tear of the knowledge that you don't love me. Another arrow pointing to another tear that says, tear of longing. And the last tear is tear of joy. I laughed so hard when I read this yesterday. It's great. I have lots of other diaries, but this one specifically is about Mr. Blair. I didn't just give Mr. Blair notes and letters. I strategically tried to get him to touch things so that I could venerate them. I remember one specific instance where I had a Slurpee, and I hadn't eaten it yet or drank it yet, and I asked my friends, okay, this is the plan. Take this Slurpee to Mr. Blair and say, Mr. Blair, try this Slurpee. And then he would suck on the straw, and then they would bring it to me, and I would treasure it forever because his lips had touched it. And so that was the plan. I attempted to do it, but it didn't work very well. I think he suspected that something was up whenever my friends came around. There was one more time that I have to tell you about because this is kind of what brought the whole thing to a screeching halt. I don't know how long this went on for, probably months, but at some point it got to the point where it had escalated. Okay, I heard about this. So apparently one of the students in another class had asked to go to the bathroom, and when the student returned, the teacher asked her, why were you so long? What took you so long? And the girl said, oh, sorry, I was reading the poetry on the bathroom wall that Cherie wrote about Mr. Blair. So anyway, it wasn't long after that that the principal came to see me. And she said, Cherie, please come with me. So she took me into the girls' bathroom, and there was all my creative writing on the bathroom walls. And she said, Cherie, I want you to clean this up, and then I want you to come to my office. So, dun dun dun. So then I cleaned up as best I could the writing on the bathroom wall, and I went to the office. I just knew I was going to be expelled, but frankly, it was worth it. And when I came into the office, she wasn't mad. I was so shocked. But she sat me down and she gave me this long talk about love and about acceptable ways to express love. And what I remember best is at the end of her speech, she told me that Mr. Blair could get in a lot of trouble. If anyone thought that there was anything inappropriate going on, he could be jailed. I don't know if that's what she said, but I just remember that one point hit home to me, and I thought, if Mr. Blair is going to suffer for what I've done, then obviously I have to cease my love Nazi activities. And so from that time on, even though it was incredibly difficult for me, I made the sacrifice, and I no longer bombarded Mr. Blair with my affection. I just loved him from afar, which included memorizing his license plate and waiting after school for him until I saw him drive away. That was my last glimpse of him for the day. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be, because the teachers went on strike, and I never saw Mr. Blair again. But it was great practice, and it proved to me that, hey, I was good at something. And so that leads me to Champion. And so next time I'll talk a bit about Champion, and I fully expect that talking about Champion will take a long, long time, and there will be a plethora of videos to watch about Champion. So you can look forward to that. You know, I'm blown away that you guys are watching these. Some of you are actually watching these. And I'm profoundly touched that you find these interesting, entertaining, strange, disturbing, whatever compels you to watch them. Thank you, I appreciate it. Please don't feel obligated though, because these are going to go on and on and on. So at some point, just feel free to bow out, you know, and if you see I post one, feel free to, like, you know, just click like without actually watching it. Then I won't know that you're not watching them. Anyway, just wanted to give you an out there if you need it. Okay, thanks so much. See you next time.